Elizabeth, Emmeline, let's work a little bit tonight on the center. After all, we are doing centered riding. And looking here at this beautiful poster by Susan Harris, we can see the center drawn in blue. The center sits very deep in the body, in the pelvis, and rolls back against what we call the sacrum. It's our center of control. It can be our center of balance. It can be our center of energy. It can be our center of quiet and relaxation. But we don't always ride with our center here. Often it rolls up. It could roll up into your chest, between your shoulder blades, even up into your throat. So let's talk about finding the center. How do we get it back? We have here a little Tai Chi ball. And Elizabeth, I'm going to let you hold that in your hands. You can hold this large, funny-looking ball, and I'll watch your horses. Could you make your hands like a little nest or a saucer? And by the way, the Latin word for pelvis, the Latin translation is a bowl or a vessel. So imagine your hands as like a bowl or a little nest. If you tip your hands forward, which way does the ball roll? To the front. If you roll them back, of course it goes back. You could roll the ball to the sides. But in the end, you'd like your hands to lie quiet, balanced, and notice how that heavy ball rolls to the deepest part of your hands. And I'll take those from you. Now, I'd like to help you find your center on yourself. Could you put one hand on your lower abdomen with your thumb on your belly button? And spread your fingers wide, almost down to your pubic arch. Put your other hand on your lower back, directly behind it. Just a little lower, Emmeline, just a little lower. That's it. That's it. Could you breathe and find a spot between your two hands? You might even imagine that there's a ball in that area. What would you need to do in your body to roll the ball to your front hand? You don't have to move much to roll a ball. Can you move it to your back hand? Let's roll it forward, but maybe not so far. Back, maybe not so far. A little less forward, a little less back. Take a deep breath and breathe out. And in Sally Swift's words, could you drop that ball right down into the mud? You can breathe as many times as you'd like. Breathe out and center again. Your center will never stay exactly in that spot, but the game is that we learn to find it and get it back when we lose it. Go ahead and take a ride. We'll see how that works. So, Emmeline and Elizabeth, you've been doing some really good work using your centers. We've been doing a lot of work with transitions. We've been doing a lot of work with energy. Tonight, I'd like to talk a little bit about using our center to steer. Using our center to steer. Could you put your hands on your center? Come here, Nick. I know, it's a hot night in the state of Ohio. Good. Let's think about sitting nice and tall on your seat bones. Find your building blocks. Now, could you give a little bit of a swivel or turn your center as if you were pointing your center where you'd like the horse to go? Notice how your hands move just a little bit. It's not real big, is it? Is it easier to turn one way than another? Most people have one direction that's easier to turn and the other's a little bit more difficult. let's go ahead and pick up your reins. So remember, your center is your center of balance, power, control. Think about directing your center when you turn as if you were pointing a laser beam that shines, oh, if you were little kids in 4-H, I might say, shines from your belly button. But I won't say that to grown-ups probably. Cowboys, I might say, point your belt buckle where you want that horse to go. But we're going to point our center, swivel a little bit, and point your center where you'd like your horse to go. Let's go ahead and ride through the pole bending poles, see how those turns from the center work. Horses hate riders who lean. It throws them off balance, it makes their job harder. So when we point our center where we want to go, it keeps our body in the middle, keeps our building blocks stacked up nice and straight, allows us to swivel, remember to breathe, point your belt buckle where you want that horse to go. Now you'll still use your legs and hands, but you notice that if you use your center, your leg aids and your hand aid happen almost automatically. Very nice riding, girls. Practicing at a walk, turning from our center, riding poles with precision is how we train a horse for when we turn up the speed and run those poles in competition. I love the way you stayed in the middle and kept balanced. Emmeline, what did you notice about your turning? How did turning from your center work?
It automatically made it easier to turn with my hands, to use my hands as an aid. My shoulders were already turning.
Did you notice your legs come on as well?
Yeah.
I think Nick liked that.
Yeah.
What did you notice, Elizabeth?
It made the small arcs around the poles much smoother and easier to ride.
That was nice riding, ladies. Always remember, point your center where you want your horse to go. Thank you.